OD has already given us plenty of nods to it being the spiritual successor to PT that fans have always wanted. In this video, we'll be going over some of the more hidden and subtle details that even further hint to this fact, spanning from things you can see in the most recent OD Knock trailer, all the way to hints Kojima provided back when PT was making its rounds through the press and games conferences at the time. That either shows us OD is 100% this previously cancelled Silent Hills game, or that this could be the closest PT/Silent Hill spiritual successor that we'll ever get from Kojima without outright stepping on any copyright problems or teaming up with the people that he previously left. But before we get into that fully, make sure to show off your hype for OD Knock by scrolling down and hitting those like and subscribe buttons to help us reach our like goal of 25 likes on this video, and so you don't miss out on any OD Knock news as it comes out. Also, consider becoming a member of the channel to be listed and have your approved and chosen images shown at the end of videos, just like this one. Now, without further ado, let's start breaking down even more details that show OD Knock may in fact be PT in disguise. First things first, let's start with the surroundings in the most recent trailer. There are two crucial things that point to PT in just the environment of OD Knock's trailer. One of them being right in front of our noses, which is the fact that outside the windows, we see a heavy set fog and rainy setting. PT was of course a playable teaser for Silent Hills, which was at the time supposed to be Konami's newest entry into the Silent Hills franchise. There being a foggy setting outside could be hinting at or even paying homage to the usual setting we see that PT would have eventually had in its full release. Another thing, as silly as it sounds, is the fact that we have the exact same flooring that was used in the PT house. This flooring is also used in the room with the candles in the OD trailer as well. I'll have on screen right now the left side showing the flooring in the OD candle room from the trailer, and the right side showing off an example of the flooring that was used in PT. Of course, you could chalk it up to an asset flip, just a coincidence, or maybe even Kojima having his hand at home decor. But, as you're about to learn with the other hints, pure coincidences are not a thing Kojima usually dabbles in. The next hint in particular is the Geiger counter sounds we hear when the entity or monster is approaching Sophia Lillis after lighting the baby candle. This noise, as I mentioned in our previous breakdown, is very reminiscent of the sound you get in Silent Hill when enemies are nearby, and could be a nod to that being a thing in this game as well. After that, I have to come back to another previous hint we touched on before, being that in the first set of redacted text, it looks like PT could be a word that is crossed out. As I've said before, it is my theory that we'll get an unredacted version of this trailer later in the year during the Game Awards in December. That will show us all of the blurred and scribbled out words, and we'll probably end up reading something along the lines of 10 years since the next generation horror game, quote-unquote PT, as to me it does look like under the scribbles it could be PT, and it looks just about right enough. And if you want to see my full thought process and how I got there, go ahead and check out the video, which will be linked down below in the description. After that, we have a deep rabbit hole clue, so make sure to stay with me. During the original announcement trailer for OD at the 2023 Game Awards, we got a trailer which showed the major actors announced doing a phonetic pangram, which essentially is just a test that will move your facial features enough to see that the motion capture is working effectively, and they're able to capture all of the phonetics that are used within this sentence, making sure that the developers are getting what they need from you during the motion capture. During this teaser reveal of OD and the actors associated, inside of Udo Krier's mouth, during his section in the teaser, there are tiny inserted post-production letters that spell out Atami, which, as many others have deduced, is in fact a city inside of Japan's Shizuoka prefecture. Now, why did Kojima hide these letters, and why is it important? Well, there is actual footage of Kojima explaining why this was a big deal during his interview for PT at 2014's Gamescom. And instead of explaining it myself, better yet, I'll let you guys hear it straight from the man himself why this is majorly important.
で、サイレントヒルっていうのを日本語で言うとサイレントは静か、ヒルは丘なんで静岡という日本ではサイレントヒルのことを静岡県っていう県エリアがあるんですけど静岡と言われます。
So the thing is, when you say Silent Hill, when you translate directly to Japanese, it's Silent is Shizuoka and Hill is Oka. Now there's a prefecture in Japan called Shizuoka, so gamers, it's kind of gamer slang in Japan to call Silent Hill Shizuoka.
で、7780っていうのを Google で入力すると、50番目か60番目か70番目ぐらいに静岡県の面積と出ます。
So if you Google 7780, somewhere in the results you'll get the 7780 square meters is actually the area for that prefecture, Shizuoka.
はい、それだけですけど。
That's it. That's a meaning behind the name.
ここからバレるかなと思ったんですけど、誰もまだ気がついてないらしい。
Yeah, we kind of were thinking that people might get the hint from here and figure that was something else, but well, no one caught on that hint.
So much detail though.
So as you can see, them taking the time to place that city name post-production to hint this, and his explanation of Shizuoka basically being the Japanese equivalent to Silent Hills verbally makes me think none of this should be perceived as a coincidence. I mean, as he even says, the pseudonym they used as a development team name for the PT demo, being 7780 Studio, was even another hint as to it leading you down the rabbit hole to Shizuoka, which was a way to get you to the Silent Hills conclusion. And as he even said there, he genuinely thought that that would lead people to figuring this out. So because of it, this time he probably said something along the lines of, "Fine, I'll literally spell it out for them so we could get the hint of this being a Silent Hills project." And the crazy part is, that's literally not even the final clue or the most damning, in my opinion, towards OD having strong ties to or outright being PT. As there is one more thing that almost everyone can literally agree on and see for themselves, which comes from that very same 2023 OD reveal presentation at the Game Awards. This time, it's the fact that to come out on stage during the event, Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele, once he was later on revealed, came out of a door that looks just like the starting room door from the PT demo. Again, on the left, I will have the door he walked out on during the Game Awards at 2023, and on the right, I will have the in-game PT door side by side. As for my thoughts on everything, I think one or two things might actually be a coincidence, but 3 to 5 things is just, in my opinion anyways, Hideo Kojima telling us, without outright telling us, that OD Knock is PT but fully realized. Again, whether this ends up being an actual new entry into the Silent Hill series, or a copyright-friendly version of what PT would have been, still remains to be seen. And I'm pretty sure, as I've said before, that we'll get our answers and that trailer with the unredacted words later this year at the Game Awards. With the amount of meta riddles, clues, and hints provided not only in his trailers, but also accounting for the previous pseudonym studio name for the PT demo, you can expect this title to have insane riddles, secrets, and puzzles for the full game. Hell, I wouldn't put it past Kojima to somehow make it to get the true ending of the game. You have to take your PlayStation or Xbox controller out to your own mail or PO box, where if you put in the Konami code and open it 5 times, Kojima himself will show up as the local mailman to give you a handwritten letter with in-game lore that will provide a hint for you to get to the true ending for the game. I mean, it's a joke, but low-key, that's just how extreme I think his riddles could get for the project. Overall, though, I can't wait to see what Kojima has in store for us when it comes to the scares, puzzling riddles, and the actual major story for the game. If not anything else, Kojima has always been 100% dedicated to his craft of intricate storytelling, boundary pushing, and conveying experiences that almost no other developer does. I'm very excited to see if all of these theories, hints, and crypticness end up panning out, and seeing what's in store next to be revealed about OD Knock. Whether it is an actual spiritual successor to PT, ends up being the next Silent Hills after all, or just ends up being its own thing, and he's just using these references to point out the past of what could have been. Anyways, guys, let me know if I've convinced you that this is a PT/Silent Hill spiritual successor, what you guys think the redacted text may actually end up saying, and if you think the next trailer will be this trailer, but unredacted, in the comment section down below. For everyone who's made it this far, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. As always, your support to your viewership, liking, and subscribing is always greatly appreciated and helps me out tremendously against the scary threat that is the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to catch you guys next time. Peace!